Hello there, Pisces. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the month of May, and I'm going to be dividing that month into two different sections. So the first section of this video is going to be looking at May the 1st through May the 15th, and then after that we're going to look at May the 16th through the 31st. For right now, though, let's just get some cards down and see what comes up for you, Pisces. All right, my dears. The first thing that I'm looking at here is your environment, and your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Usually it's home, but not always. So you want to kind of have an open mind about this, okay? So what I'm seeing is that in your environment, you're definitely taking some time to be alone. You're taking some time to go within and to do some soul searching for yourself. And so you may be getting away from other people in your environment in some way, or maybe they are going away and this is allowing you this time. But either way, maybe you're alone in your environment normally, but you are taking advantage of this alone time to really do some soul searching and to dig deep into what it is that makes you happy and what does not. All right, next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about your subconscious leanings, so what you're focusing on subconsciously. So what we have showing up here is you are really thinking about fulfillment and happiness and what it takes to make you feel fulfilled and happy. That could very easily come up as a part of your soul searching as well. Looking next at your learning style and also your communication style, I do feel like your curiosity is leading the way as you are learning. I think that some of what you're learning during this time frame is just adding on to information that you've had for a while other parts of it are you're learning some new things about some brand new topics that you haven't really encountered that much before. As far as your communication style, I think you're very careful when you're communicating to be always on the bright side of things, to always be looking at the silver lining and never really the negative stuff, always trying to highlight the good, good, good. Not to say that you're, if somebody asked you, I don't think you would say that the negative doesn't exist. I just don't think that's what you focus on. All right, next thing that I'm looking at is work. And what I'm feeling like as I'm looking at this card is that work is a little bit degrading right now. I think you're feeling a little degraded and your self-esteem is sort of taking a hit with something that's going on at work. Next thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about that part of your personality which is growing or expanding as we go through this particular time frame. I do think that you are communicating some way or other with somebody who has already crossed over, or somebody who has passed away, or somebody who has died, however you want to say that. And I think that for a lot of you this is a new thing, or for some of you it's something that you did before and you sort of let go. Now it's coming back, and it's coming back strong, okay? Now the next thing that I've got showing up talks to me about something that you stand for. And so this is going to be something that somebody has asked you to explain, or maybe they've out and out confronted you about this, and so you've had to stand up for this thing or stand for this thing. Then after we look at that, we're going to look at how that other person sees you after this conversation is complete. So it looks like what you're standing for is actually a person. This is somebody who is going to be younger, somebody who may or may not be a fire sign. For me, a lot of times when we have a sign show up, it can be the sun sign, but many times it's the rising sign, and a lot of people don't know each other's rising signs. Some people don't even know their own rising sign. So anyway, I think that this is somebody who is very outgoing. They like to laugh, they like to joke, they like to have fun. This is somebody who is incredibly smart, thinks outside the box, and like I said, younger than you. And so this is somebody that you are standing up for. I kind of feel like this person may be a little bit over the top sometimes, and that's why you're having to stand up for them, because you can tell that they have a good heart, even though they do. They can make a bad impression on people sometimes because they can be over the top, especially with their need to have fun or to be laughing and joking around. Now, how this other person sees you after you've had a conversation about this person you're standing up for, they see you as somebody who has really ended a struggle. I think they're seeing you as somebody who, at first, you had a hard time dealing with this person that you're standing up for too, but then something like clicked, something snapped. You got to the point where you understood something about where this person is coming from, and now that makes it a little bit more palatable. That's how this other person is seeing you, at least. Next thing that I'm looking at here, Pisces, talks to me about the lesson or experience that you're having as you go through this particular time frame. I do feel like you are looking at interesting solutions or interesting changes right now, and you are sort of looking at solutions or changes that maybe other people around you would not normally consider, but you really don't have a problem with thinking outside the box and considering something that others wouldn't. Okay? Not if it brings you the solution or the situation that you're looking for. Now, it's interesting what we have going on here, because at the same time that you're looking outside the box, we have two things happening. We have one thing that is where something made you happy before is no longer making you happy. You could kind of take it or leave it now. This can be hanging out with a particular person, just interacting with a particular person. This could be a hobby, this could be an activity, this could be a project. Whatever it is, it used to bring you joy and happiness. Now, not so much. Okay, so at the same time that you're realizing that this other thing is not bringing you so much happiness, you have something else coming into your experience too that you are really seeing the possibilities of it being productive and satisfying. And so I think that you're joining together with somebody else, somebody who you do enjoy their company, or you're dropping a project and picking up another project that you enjoy more now. Okay? And then once we get to the middle of the month, what we see is you really setting some kind of firm foundation for something in your life. So this is the beginning of something, but it's a very stable, well-grounded beginning. We like these kinds of beginnings because they're pretty solid. You can build on that. Okay, so not a bad first part of your month at all, Pisces. Let me go ahead and wrap this up so I can rest my voice, and when I come back, we'll look at the second half of May. Thank you for being here. See you soon. Welcome back, Pisces. We are going to talk about May 16th through the 31st now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for thumbs upping this video and sharing it with others who may appreciate it as well. And thank you also to those of you who are ordering private readings, private Reiki sessions, those of you who are viewing my daily videos, and those of you who are viewing my live Reiki videos. Thank you for all of your support. It is that support that allows me to do what I love to do for my living. Okay. So, Pisces, what we have here to start off with does have to do with your environment. And your environment, once again, is any place where you have energy or effort invested. And what I'm seeing is that things are really slow moving in your environment right now. Things aren't really happening. Things are just kind of dawdling along in your environment. So not a lot of ambition, not a lot of movement, not a lot of happening right now. Next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about your subconscious leanings, Pisces, and I think you've got a situation where you feel like you made yourself too vulnerable to somebody, and now you are figuring out, okay, how do I defend myself to make sure that this does not happen again? And your subconscious is really working on what kind of defenses you can put in place to make sure that you don't make yourself too vulnerable again. Next thing we're looking at, Pisces, talks to me about your learning style and your communication style during this particular time frame. So when I'm looking at learning style, it looks to me like you are finding out something during this time frame that makes you question just about everything that you had learned on a particular topic before, and it makes you really wonder how much of what you thought you knew is really true or not. So this is basically some type of crisis that you're coming into as far as all of this knowledge. And I feel like this is knowledge that you've built up over a year, and I think this makes you sort of question the idea of how does reality really work, where you thought you kind of had it figured out. Okay. As far as your communication style, I do think that there's somebody that you're really just dropping hints with this person. You're kind of looking to see what their reaction is to what you say before you say too much, because you're not sure how they're going to take you with the things that you would like to talk to them about. With other people, though, I feel like you're very solid, you're very stable in what you're saying. The messages that you're putting out there are not changing. You know, you're not wishy-washy. Everybody pretty much knows what to expect of you. And then I also feel like there's another person in your sphere of influence who the communication that you're having with this person is, first of all, very honest, very truthful, very rapid fire. And I feel like this may even kind of come out of the blue. I think you may have been just sort of holding back, holding your tongue for a while, and something happens and all of a sudden you just let this person know, look, this is how I really feel about this and I can't hold it in anymore. Next thing we're looking at, Pisces talks to me about work, and it looks like there's something going on at work that has you feeling incredibly sad. There may be somebody who is transferring out that you've been really attached to. There may be somebody who's retiring that's been a really good friend of yours there. There's just something going on that is making you really sad when it comes to work. It may be that you're having trouble finding work and that's what's making you really sad. Yeah. So anyway, let me move on from that. Next, what we're going to look at is that part of your personality, which is growing or expanding right now. Well, I'm going to say with this card coming up here, it may be that you're just flat out losing a job. Maybe the company is closing down or there's something going on here where maybe that sadness is about the idea that you're not working. Because what I have showing up here is where you're growing and expanding is this whole idea that you're not working or that something is not working out. And so as you're not working, this gives you a chance to kind of step back and regroup and figure out, what, do I want to go into the same industry I was working in before, or do I want to do something different? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the skills to do something different? Do I need to get the education to do that? Okay, so really a lot of thought going into work is where you're growing and expanding right now. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at, Pisces, has to do with the idea of something that you stand for, just like last time frame. And then we're going to look at how that person sees you after you've had this conversation about this thing that you stand for. So you have been doing some things to make you feel empowered. Kudos for you, looking out for you. And so when somebody confronts you about this or asks you to explain your actions, after you have explained that, I needed to do something to make myself feel empowered. I've got a lot going on in my life and I need to feel like I can handle it, and thrive. And so this other person is seeing you as really insecure. I think they feel like you're doing these things to empower yourself because you were feeling really insecure. And they don't so much see these things as empowering you as much as they see them highlighting those insecurities. That's an interesting opinion for them to have, isn't it? All right, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that lesson or experience that you're having through this particular time frame. And what we have is a couple of things actually are coming to me. So because I'm not landing on one or the other, I think both of these are actually happening for you, Pisces. One of the things is that you are very hopeful and expectant of good things to come. You know that all things are working out for your benefit, that the universe has your back. And then the other thing that I'm picking up here is that you're following your own intuition, Pisces. Wherever your intuition is telling you, that's where you're following. So those are the lessons and experiences that are going on right now. Definitely very much tied together. And then at the same time that this is happening, excuse me, it looks like you're not struggling, like you're realizing, I think intuitively, you're realizing that to struggle against something that's going on that you don't like is counterproductive. And so I think that you're releasing that, you're letting go of that struggle. You're not putting energy and effort into fighting over whether this thing is gone or not gone. And because you release that energy, because you quit with fighting that, with holding on to those negatives, then what happens is you do have a new partnership coming in. And this could very well be a new job. Doesn't have to be, could be some type of new partnership on the love life front, on the friend front, but this is, I really think with everything that we've got going on so far, seems like it's really, a lot of it is centered around work. So I'm leaning much more towards that this is work. That almost as soon as the first job has that sadness that happens, whether that's losing the job or whatever, almost as soon as that happens, you've got something new coming in where you're starting another job. And I think that you're really enjoying this other job. And then finally, how we see you ending the month is you have some decisions in front of you on your plate, and you're having to make that decision, but I think that it's bringing you a lot of confusion. And the reason it's bringing you a lot of confusion, when this card shows up like this, the reason it's bringing you a lot of confusion is because you're trying to look at every single detail and then add it all up, and then once you've got the sum of all the little details, then make your decision. The advice with this card is don't try to look at every little detail, just bottom line it. Look at the bottom line and then make your decision based on that. Otherwise, you're going to stress yourself out overthinking this. Okay? So that's what I've got for your month, Pisces. I hope that this is beneficial for you, and thank you very much for being here. I'm looking forward to doing live readings with some of you during this month, and for the rest of you, I'll just see you back on the next video. Peace out.